Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Construction Complete, the show all about Super Mario Maker 2. My name is Killjoy, and I'm back today talking about another level in the Super Mario Bros. 3 Remix series that I've been working on. God, this music is so good. Today we're going to be looking at 1-6, inspired by the original 1-6 from Super Mario Bros. 3. And this was a level I had a lot of fun with, so it took a lot of my attention, took a lot of my time, because I really enjoyed this level and obviously wanted to make it as best as I could. Obviously, for those who don't know, this Super Mario Bros. 3 Remix is something I'm working on where I'm making sort of remix levels, reimaginations of levels based on the original Super Mario Bros. 3. And 1-6 was probably the first sort of hard level in that game, because a lot of the platforms are much smaller in that level. You've got moving platforms, and it was obviously you have the final level being the airship, but it was the level that kind of set up a lot of later things in the game. It really does have this. The original level has a lot of impact on some of the crazy stuff that comes later on, especially in World 5, which is Sky World or Skyland. And this is kind of the sort of the easy version of some of that stuff that happens. So let's just get into it. As always, I'll play through the level. We'll talk about what my ideas behind some of the stuff, and then critique the level at the end.
Here we go.
There's also another excuse for me to use the Sky theme, which is my favourite Mario track probably of all time. I do love this track a lot. Also, using tracks, I do kind of like being able to do this with platforms, because it's a shame I can't hide the track. That's the only thing a bit annoying, but take that. Whoosh. And obviously the use of these ones, different colour one, they don't move, which is what I wanted. I would have preferred it to be the other colour, so it was a bit more similar to the original, but it's fine, less of a problem. So yeah, they don't move until you stand on them. And this jump here specifically is meant to be a reminiscent of the original one. So that's it. The level isn't that long, but I'll play through it later on, trying to walk through it, and it is a toughie. So, level is all fairly small platforms. Not in every case, but most of the time. When I start the level like this,
Here we go.
I want people to realise not to hold forward and just fall off the edge. That's the one thing I thought about maybe putting an extra bit of ground here for, but I was like, no, what? I want people to realise when they start, they gotta jump. That's probably the most difficult thing in this, is that you can't just hold down the run button, or you will die. But yeah, so the first part is this. Most of this level is using mushroom blocks, which are a really cool block. Didn't exist in the original Super Mario Bros. 3. They did in the original Super Mario Bros. But they didn't exist in Super Mario Bros. 3, I don't think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they look really cool in this. So yeah, it's meant to be reminiscent of that level, like I said, like all the levels are. And so we have some smaller platforms. So this is what I was on about when it comes to the platforms. Now we're getting less space to mess around on. I mean, this Koopa Trooper is doing this. Obviously not quite as quick as that, but you've got essentially 3 grid blocks. 1, 2, and 3. So it's a much smaller platform to how I normally have it. So yeah, the start of the level, straight away, big gap. You're like, okay, we know what kind of level we're getting in for. And it's all about precision jumping, not too crazy, because we don't want to make it too hard even at this stage through the levels. But we really want to start ramping up the fact that now might be the time you need to really be more precise with your jumps. Now you might need to use the run button a lot more than maybe a beginner would have been. So it kind of gives that, but you don't need to. It just probably makes some of these jumps a lot easier, because if you watch how, like, I'm walking on like this, that's where I land. Now, obviously you can overshoot this if I do this. You're gonna land there. You can see, just that small ramp shows you how much of a different running does, and obviously holding down the button versus tapping it also makes a difference. So yeah, already I'm being like, hey, if you're not using the run button very much, you might find that in this case, not so bad. But with some of these other jumps, like this one, you know, you're starting to stretch. Like, I just made it to that block and back again. Like, as long as I'm holding forward, I'll make it. But when I'm holding the run button, I can make it up here, for example. So it's interesting how much more speed you can get and how much more distance you can travel with the run button really in this game. And that's really interesting to think about when building a level, because you're like, okay, you know, maybe I want them to be slower, maybe I want them to actually do a shorter jump. Again, you've got the little hop, so like there's obviously like that, or
Here we go.
that, holding down the button, and then everything in between. So it's interesting. I love the jumping. The idea of having like a bottomless pit and having platforms and things and designed around how much you need to jump fascinates me in Mario games because it's such a prominent thing. The whole point of platformers of this ilk is that, you know, it's all about the jumping. But yeah, so we start off the level with the mushroom blocks, showing that, okay, this level is a bottomless pit level. So far, like as soon as you start the level, what do you get to see? You see 2 and a bit, and then you see a Koopa Trooper. You know, you can already tell, right, this is a sky themed one, there is large platforms, and you're going to be dealing with, excuse me, you're going to be dealing with bottomless pits. And then we move on to this, which is again, this whole first section up until here is kind of similar. But yeah, so we got your mushroom there. A bit cheeky,
Here we go.
because it's not that easy to get compared to some others. Probably the first one I've added is a bit difficult. You do have to be on the edge and jump, otherwise it's going to go down the hole.
Here we go.
Mess it up. Oh, there he goes. So, then a slightly bigger platform for this Koopa Trooper, which you can then use to do this. Don't do what I do a lot of the time, where I fire it and just fall down the hole. So yeah, you know, this level is primarily, the only enemy in this level is Koopa Troopers, red ones, green ones, various different things like that. I don't think this dude can get out of this box. Just bounces around. Nope. Is he gonna make it? Oh, no. Yeah, so then you've got this next section which has a 1-up mushroom and then 2 coin blocks in here. Now, if you because you can get a raccoon in the original game, when you go level to level, you have the ability to keep your power-ups, which you can't do in this. So there's no way for you to actually use a raccoon at this point in the level. You can go and get one and come back, I suppose, but most people don't do that. You use the Koopa Trooper shell to smash those blocks. You can then get under them and get the coins that are under here, which is nice. So, coin block there. Coin block there. But yeah, there's also this 1-up that I kept in. It's another thing as well you can't do in this game that happens in the original Super Mario Bros. 3 is depending on which way you're facing, or I think that's how it works, whichever way you're facing, the mushroom and or 1-ups will go the opposite direction. It's weird, but it happens. It's something that's always been in the game, but luckily in this game they only go one way, which is nice. But yeah, so you've got, so far this level is all about jumps. You can see the different types of jumps, like first jump, fairly easy, make it a bit harder by adding a Koopa Trooper. Again, also trying to slow the person down, because doing this is quite dangerous because you don't know what's there. Whereas, run along, oh, Koopa Trooper. Plenty of time. You can see, and potentially see the other Koopa Trooper if you're then going to hit the blocks. You've got all the time in the world to see this Koopa Trooper. But currently I can't see what else is there, so me doing a run jump like that, it's going to get me, probably, like that. It's going to get me to my death. If I try and get the biggest run up and jump, I'm not going to make that jump. So I know while I'm here, I'm like, oh, mushroom block, get that. Still can't see anything, so I'm like, I better jump to this platform. Oh, right, okay, now I can see there's another platform. Oh, there's another Koopa Trooper over there. Okay, right, I need to be careful. So, it's the wonderful thing about enemy placement and coin placement and 1-ups and all kinds of stuff like that is being able to just slow the person down enough. Because at no point on that part of the screen can I see that other platform. Like, I'm completely in the dark. Even when I walk here, I still can't see anything. It's not until I jump to this next platform. During this jump, I'm like, oh, there's blocks there. I might not even be looking at that until afterwards. So I might be like, okay, there's a Koopa Trooper. I'm going to jump. Right, deal with the Koopa Trooper. Oh, cool, there's the other platforms, there's the bricks. I can see there's another Koopa Trooper in there. Let me just make sure, right, okay. Fine, I'm going to go up here because I don't want to deal with him, and on to the next thing. And that's something, as a designer, like trying to make a level in this style, you constantly have to think about how much you do want to slow the person down, or do you want them to go quick? In which case, if you want to make a fast level, don't put spike traps everywhere that are in the way. You know, like there are certain. It's not that you can't do those things. You just got to make the level flow, and the level, this flow of this level, just this first section. So yeah, you can play it pretty quick. You know, that's one way to do it. Or you can play it a lot slower because, again, the jumps are important. Okay, we're on smaller platforms. Alright, what's in here? Oh, cool, a mushroom. Right, okay, yeah, brilliant. I'm just going to clear this out so we've got more room to jump. Oh, there's the other platform. Oh, good thing I didn't jump over that. Oh, and there's a Koopa Trooper. Okay, well, there must be something in these blocks. Oh, look, a 1-up, and that might be it. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. And so you can see that, like, as a designer and trying to do this, and again with playtesting, you really want to try and be, when you're building a level and you've played it for 100 times, you know exactly what to do. But you really want to kind of, in this case, I'm trying to get them to feel like normal levels, normal-ish levels anyway, where it's like, oh cool, this feels like it could fit in a Mario game. I don't want anything too crazy, and because I'm trying to rebuild all the levels from the first one up until the last one, I need to make it so that this difficulty curve is, you know, a steady one and not too difficult. I want this level to be hard compared to the other levels I've put together, or harder I should say, but I don't want it to be absolutely brutal. So the way I've done that is by using, you know, simple enemy placement and simple block placement and platform placement. So it all kind of culminates into one thing. So you can see, like, hey, this platform is big, or at least this platform has enough space on it, so no matter if I do a short jump or a long jump, I'm probably not going to fall off of it. And then you're like, hey, this platform is smaller, I better be a bit more careful, and then one step more difficult. This platform is small and it has a Koopa Trooper on it. So it's like you're teaching, as soon as you start this level, what do I see? I go, okay, platform, 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 right, there's a Koopa Trooper. I'm like, right, okay, so first things first, jump. I need to be aware that there are gaps beneath me, so there's already a bottomless pit. That's the big thing, big gimmick. This platform is big, okay, right, next jump. Alright, this platform is smaller, and the next thing, this platform is smaller again, but now we have an enemy on it. Which then happens that once you get the mushroom, this next platform, there is a jump, it's medium size, slightly bigger, and there's a Koopa Trooper on it. So all of those things you've just seen here, where it's like, there's a bottomless pit, there's a big platform, little platform with a Koopa Trooper, is, oh yeah, this entire level's bottomless pits, okay, gotta jump, but not only that, there's a platform, it's a fairly small platform, and it has a Koopa Trooper on it. So it's kind of reiterating this, but you're giving the person a break. Now yeah, they can just bolt through it, but the likelihood is they're going to check these blocks for a mushroom or coins or something. So you're reiterating, hey, you need to be aware of that these platforms are small, there are Koopa Troopers, this level has bottomless pits. When you move to this bit, you then have, oh, the platform is big, there are bricks in the way, you know, you still got to make a jump to get in there, there's a Koopa Trooper. So it's that running theme of, what am I trying to get across to the player? I'm trying to get them across that you can't do, you have to be aware of your jumps. You can't just half-heartedly make jumps, you are going to fall to your doom. But at the same time, like, if you take your time with these platforms, you can see that everything that I'm showing you is continued throughout the level. And after this part here with this Koopa Trooper, which is probably the most different part of it, we have, again, now we're going back to, oh, it's the same platform as this one, different colour obviously, but there is no Koopa Trooper, and the reason for that is now introducing a new mechanic of this lift. This lift is now moving up and down, and obviously if you watch how the lift moves, it moves away from you and moves closer to you at a certain point. Well, obviously I can't really reach it when it's up there, so okay, I've got to wait for it to come back down. So okay, here it comes, and I can get on it now. But just as I think most people would jump for it, it moves away from you. So you're like, la la la, oh, it moves away. It's not a hard jump to make, really, but if you aren't paying attention, you're gonna start walking towards it and be like la 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 la, and even walking speed you can get it, but it's just enough to make you think, oh yeah, jump. I just about got on it then. See if I can do this how I'm trying to explain it.
Here we go.
If I jump early, like now, see how close that was? Like, it's so easy to get lazy and be like, I could jump from like here. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna jump from here. No, I'm not. You know, I can jump from here.
Here we go.
Like, oh, I'll be able to make it onto that platform. It's my height. Nope. So, what I'm doing here is removing one obstacle in the sense of the Koopa Trooper, and then put the platform. So I want the focus to be like, you're on this platform. There is a moving lift platform, whatever it's called, lift I think it is. Focus needs to be on that. You can see the track. The track is visible, so you can know exactly where it's going to go. You can see the speed at which it's going to go. If I put wings on this,
Here we go.
it's much quicker, which I definitely don't want. Because that again ups the challenge far too much for what I'm trying to get across here. I just want it to move
Here
up
we
and
go.
down, nice steady pace. You can look at it. You've got time to look at it. You're not going to be threatened by anything. You're complete control here. Nothing can get you. You're just like, okay, cool. There's a platform. Starts to move away a little bit. So I'm trying to show off this mechanic now because again I'm going to use the lift later on again, but in a much more difficult situation. Probably the hardest jump in the entire level after the first one. So it's like nice and easy. You have a small platform and a lift going up and down that you need to jump on. You can look at it, you can take your time, do it, fine. Then we get back to more of these mushroom blocks. And this is a bit of a slow point of the level. The whole point here is to be like, okay, we've done quite a lot of big jumping. Let's give the player a power up if they don't have one. In this case, I do put a raccoon leaf in there if you get there when you're big. And you can stand here and watch these Koopa Troopers go back and forth. Nice big platform, nothing to worry about. Get rid of them. A few coins to collect, and you've got plenty of time to see what's ahead. You can see, oh, there's a platform over there, and there's a big mushroom platform. Okay, cool. Jump. You know, nothing too difficult. Just a nice layout of platforms, and making it easy enough for the player where it is a bit of a down point, because, let's have a look. It's, you know, smaller platform, a little bit of a break, you know, smallish platform with Koopa Troopers, this, lift, we've got to work out for, and then, oh cool, I don't have to worry about too much. Oh, there's a block, alright, cool. Oh, power up, cool. And that lets you stop. So, again, slows the player down, you can see what's ahead. Alright, cool, I want to get these coins. I don't need to worry about these Koopa Troopers, I'm just going to go ahead. Now this long platform and this little one is a massive reference to the original level. This entire next section is a huge reference to the original level. But what I've done here is giving you ample time so that you can see, hey, what's over, why is this platform here? What's ahead? Okay, there's a Koopa Trooper and the platform's going to head up and there's some coins. Okay, cool. Let's try and give a sense of what's coming. And then this platform, I don't want to make it move, I want it to be stationary, so it's always there ready for you. A little bit difficult with the red Koopa Troopers, Paratroopers. Now this jump is a bit nasty. The problem with that jump is if you start to move and the platform moves back, I'll show you,
Here we go.
it makes this jump really difficult. So, I'll show you a few different ways of doing this. Coins. So if I start walking now, I get a bit of a boost because it's moving forward. I'm just gonna move this for the show my. Whoa, hello. Go over there. I need you. Come with me. Get you there.
Here we go.
Obviously they're going to be in a different position now, which is annoying, but like if I do this, not so bad.
Here we go.
If it starts moving backwards, however, when I'm walking forward, like now, you can see that that is a tough jump to make. Less of a problem if I'm
Here we go.
less of a problem if I'm running, because I can just run, do it, and I'll get the boost as soon as it's moving forward. But you will find if you try to
Here we
jump
go.
It is a tough jump. If you try to jump while it's moving backwards, it will slow your momentum completely and make it way harder. So it's an interesting part of the level because
Here we go.
it's a tough jump. It doesn't look like it's a tough jump, but it is a tough jump because if you don't want to hold the run button down, you're going to have a hard time making this jump. You can make the jump from here. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just because it's a combination of a small platform. And even then, that was tough. It's a combination of a small platform that you've got to jump to, Koopa Troopers, and this lift. So this entire last part of the level is much more difficult. And then you have this part, which I'll get to in a sec, which is a tough jump. So yeah, as you can see, you know, this is the big break. You get a chance to see ahead.
Here we go.
Oh, Koopa Trooper and coins. Alright. Platform's waiting for you to get on it. Now, what you can
Here we
do
go.
is something how I set this level up. You can do this. See if I can pull this off. You can do that. You can bypass that lift entirely with some precision jumping. But that's specifically there if you want to rush through it and ignore the fact that the platform is a bit slower. But most people are going to go on the platform and it's going to casually go across. Now, if I wanted to make this easier, I would probably remove this Koopa Trooper. I think he's the first one you have to deal with. If I was to just put you there a minute, mate.
Here we go.
Probably going to come back down on the screen, isn't he? But you'll see, because of the way that they move, I don't have to do anything. Both of the middle one and the end one go up and down at the right time. That wasn't intentional, that's just how it was. So it's only really the first one you have to interact with.
Here we go.
Because he will come down and be there, you know. But then you can hold him, use him to get rid of this dude at the end. Don't go away. But you don't have to worry about them so much. Now this part, this is the hardest jumps, the two hardest jumps, or one of the hardest jumps in the game.
Here we go.
Getting onto this platform, not that easy. Now this jump, again, if you do it while it's moving forwards, not that bad. If you do it while it's moving backwards, much harder, but the Koopa Trooper is also there for you to bounce on. So I'm gonna go run, run, run. You can do it. You cannot make this jump while walking. Like, this is so far the hardest jump I'd put up until this point. If I try and do it, okay, I lied, you can make it, but it's only just. If you try and do it any other way, it's not going to work very well, because what will happen is this will happen. Look how much my momentum just sunk then. However, there is a Koopa Trooper there, which you can bounce on, just to make it a bit easier. And you'll see now if I do it and hold down the jump button, look how much height I get. So it does make it fairly easy. And that's pretty much the level. Like, it's not, again, they're not particularly long, but I've tried to put as much thought into the movement, the type of level I'm trying to make, the enemy choices, the platform choices. Like, having a platform like this isn't hard to land on. Like, this is not a hard platform to land on, but it's also not the same as a platform like this. Like, you've got no worries on a platform like this. Look how much space I've got. Versus something like this, which is, you know, if you're moving around a lot or trying to dodge and avoid, that's not a huge amount of space. It's not the same as, like, I don't know.
Here we go. Here we go.
Like, trying to dodge stuff like here, it's fairly difficult, you know? Like, you don't have much room to maneuver if you're trying to avoid an enemy or, like, whatever it is you're trying to do on a platform that's essentially one Luigi, one Mario wide. Like, you've got a bit of room for error. Like, I go quite far off the platform. Look at that. How far I can go. Wow. But they're small enough platforms to be, you know, a threat in the sense that you need to be aware that you can't just hold run and go. Like, you need to have a bit more precision in your jumping for it. So I'm going to play through the level one more time. I'm going to get the Raccoon Leaf this time. And I'm going to walk through it with the Raccoon Leaf, I think. So you can see what it's like without me bombing through it. So you get a better understanding of how hard some of these jumps are, or at least how hard some of these jumps can be. And And again, this is how I test my levels. I always do this. I always make sure that it's doable to be able to walk through the level from start. Wow, I can't even believe I died then. That's a great example of me not holding the jump button down long enough and just not focusing what I'm doing. But yeah, let's try that again. Like this jump here, that one to where those bricks are, the amount of times I've like died there unintentionally because I just wasn't concentrating. Surprisingly a lot more difficult than you'd think. And obviously now I have the ability to do this, which makes anyone's life easier. And it makes a lot of these jumps at the end a lot easier as well. So this is the thing with power-ups. Oh, look at him go! Ah. So I can make this jump so much easier now by just mashing. Oof, that was close. But there you go. I mean, the raccoon just literally gives those last few jumps a bit of much needed, a little bit of assistance to someone who's playing. That's why I put it where it is before you get to the crazy part with the riding platforms and the last that jump, and that jump. And that's the thing. That's a good use of a power-up. I could put a fire flower there instead to get rid of the Koopa Troopers. But it wouldn't really help you as much. Like, it kind of would, but they're not that much of a threat. But this level is one of the ones, along with 1-4, where I'm actually really happy with it. Like, I'm really happy with how this level turned out. It's just one of those things where it just all kind of came together nicely. It definitely took a lot of trial and error for the jumps and moving the platforms around. They weren't always in the same spots. But getting the tracks down, making sure it feels right, that you do have enough time to jump. Nothing feels too difficult, but at the same time it does require you to be like, hey, you need to concentrate on what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to make those jumps. Luckily most of the platforms go back and forth, so there's not too much of an issue there. But yeah, I'm happy with it. If I had to change things, I would maybe make some of these platforms a little bit bigger. Maybe I'd make these two 1 block's worth bigger, or maybe this one anyway, or this one. Most of this I'm actually pretty happy with. Maybe I'd make this one more square that way, so it makes it just a teensy bit easier to jump onto that. And then this bit I like. I probably wouldn't change this. And then what I'd probably do is bring the track across one more, so it's there. Would be the big change. So that it's just much easier to jump onto this, and then that is the change I'll do for this one, so that it comes across. Look how much, just that one simple change. Like, it's so funny like that. It's like one simple change that does, you know. I'm messing around with these. It's like one simple change that just makes it that much easier for a player that's maybe not as good at these levels, isn't as proficient, because the platform's that much closer. I mean, the platform isn't that far away, but it just gives you that bit of extra time. But because of the angle at which Mario jumps, look what happens when it's moving away. Look at that entire diagonal. I've got fairly decent amount of time to jump on it, and even if I don't make a good jump, I'm probably going to land on it anyway. Just. But obviously this bit I would add a track part there, and that would make that easier. Whee. But yeah, you can see that there are obvious things I can do here to change the level up, make it a bit easier. I could make it harder as well, but I don't really want to do that. But overall, I'm quite happy with it. The enemy placement, I mean, these Koopa Troopers are a bit useless because they don't really get in your way. The coins look a bit weird, a bit out of place, but they're kind of there to, you know, add some bit of flavour to the level. But yeah, I think a lot of it would come down to platform placement and enemy placement and the lifts and things, to just tweaks to those to either make it a little bit easier in certain places for certain people. Maybe raise and lower some of the mushroom blocks as well, so they're not so high, so you've got a little bit more time. So because you'll find with some of them, you can do a jump like this, I think you're gonna land on it and go for it. So sometimes just lowering this.
Here we go.
Doing this. You see now,
Here we
do that kind of jump again, I'm probably going to land on it. So there is that.
Here we go.
So there's obvious things that I can do to make this level either not necessarily better, but different, a little bit easier, things like that, basically. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. That's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you very much for watching this, as always. If you like this video, obviously hit like. If you want to see more content, hit subscribe. And obviously comments down below. Put your own courses in there, feedback, whatever you want it to do. As always, the course code will be at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, so you can go and play these levels yourself. And again, give feedback there as well. But until next time, I'll see you then.